that morning I was in the Bachelor Officers' quarters on the Ford Island. We had one runway there, and I was eating breakfast. I saw the Japanese 183 planes come in and dropping bombs, and I knew right away what was happening. So I grabbed my captain's coat and went out to the lobby, and there were 3 or 4 families of just women and children there because their husbands were aboard ships. And they were terribly frightened, as I was too, because I didn't know what they were going to do. And I got my convertible and drove up at the north end of the island. And at that point, I was about a quarter of a mile from Arizona. And I saw the Arizona bombed. There were powder pellets about the size of my finger that flew that distance from the ship to me, and it was coming down on me just like snow, and into my car. And I was concerned about getting strafed by the Jap planes because they were flying over but down the other south end of the Ford Island. So I went by the clinic there, and I could see a number of people, dead bodies out on the lawn. And then I went to the hangar, and I was the only officer there. All the other officers lived in Honolulu, so I was the only officer there until 10 o'clock that morning. And there were 2 Japanese attacks, and the first was at 5 minutes to 8, and the next one is about an hour later. In the first one, they had 183 planes, which include torpedo planes, and they dropped 30 torpedoes, and 20 of them were effective. And then they went, and our ships were shooting at them, and we shot down, and plus the Air Force, the Army Air Corps, at a separate station, there were 2 guys that got to their planes, and they shot down about 29 more of the planes. And there were about 356 American planes that were knocked out there, and about 19 or 20 ships that were sunk water. And this is a passenger plane, old passenger planes, 90 miles an hour speed. And so this is what I flew that day, this type of a plane. I'm not sure it's 7, but because I lost my logbook. But this type of plane. And I had a co-pilot, a radioman, and 3 sailors. And just before I left the line, the senior officer brought out 3 Springfield rifles for us to use to shoot at the Japanese, which was a hopeless cause because our enemy, the Zeros, had cannons in their fighters, and we didn't have a chance. But we were the first planes off of Pearl Harbor, and my assignment for searching for the Japanese fleet was 250 miles north, turn east 10 miles, then come back to Pearl Harbor. Now, Pearl Harbor betrayed will tell you that the Japanese came in due south, and they launched at the first group that were over Pearl Harbor at 5 minutes to 7, 5 minutes to 8 rather, at about 6 o'clock. And believe it or not, the radar picked them up. And the Army Air Corps officer was informed, and he said, don't bother because there are bombers coming in from the States, and it's them. He made a terrible mistake. if they had picked up those planes, then we would have shot a lot of Jap planes down and killed a lot of pilots. But it didn't happen, so that's the way it was. I flew along about 1,000 feet just below the clouds because I wanted to duck into the clouds in case of I did see anything. They wouldn't see me. And I went out to 250 miles north and then turned east, and I didn't see anything because they had turned northwest to recover their planes. They had come in due south and then turned northwest. And so after I got back to the base, I just reported in and sat in the red room waiting on another call. And then